Lockhart Perspective. Well, good morning and rise and shine to everybody. I'm so happy to have you here. We have breaking news coming out of Atlanta, and I wanted to take a second just to bring it to you and present it to you. Now, we do have a live today. We have our guest Judge Joe Brown coming both on the Lockhart Perspective as well as Headlines with a Voice to chime in on some of the things that are going on nationwide and elsewhere. And so, what we're looking at right here is breaking cell phone data raises questions about the start of Willis's and Wade's relationship. If you remember, just last week, they were saying that he had not been there. He was asked, and by he, I mean Wade, he was asked several times while on the stand about if cell phone towers would pick his phone up. He did mention that there was one place that he frequented or that he had gone to. However, this story from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that was just published 21 minutes ago shows that he was, in fact, there quite a few times. And by there, I do mean the neighborhood that she lived in. So here it says, Nathan Wade appeared to make 3 dozen visits, 3 dozen. That's 12 times 3 to the Hateville neighborhood where Fonnie Willis was living before the district attorney hired him to lead the Fulton County election interference prosecution, according to cell phone data included in a court submission filed on Friday. The filing by attorneys for Donald Trump raises fresh questions about the relationship between the 2 prosecutors, which the former president and other defendants argue has tainted the case against them. And it should be the result in Willis no longer being the prosecutor and being disqualified. Trump's lawyers relied on data collected from Wade's cell phone and cell phone tower submission to track his movements. It seemed to contradict Wade's testimony last week, in which he said that he had visited Willis at her condo in Hateville no more than 10 times before he was hired in November of 2021. If you remember, she took office January of 2021. It also indicates that Wade twice arrived late at night at the condo and left early the next morning in the months before Willis and Wade said their relationship became romantic in early 2022. Both Wade and Willis testified last week that they did not spend the night together at the Hateville condo. A spokesman from Fulton DA's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. The timeline is important for 2 reasons. If Willis and Wade were a couple before she hired him, it raises the prospect that she may have violated at least the spirit of the anti-nepotism rules. Now, even though the anti-nepotism rules there in Fulton are specifically focusing on family members, that's what that rule there stipulates. It's about family members. But more importantly, it says both Willis and Wade have testified under oath that their relationship began in 2022. If the defense attorneys can prove that they lied under oath, it could constitute perjury. Friday's court filing includes an affidavit from Charles Middlestat, a longtime investigator for defense attorneys. He said he obtained the cell phone data from AT&T through a subpoena. Middlestat said that he used the online tool Cellhawk to determine where Wade spent his time in 2021. Cellhawk is considered by law enforcement to be the gold standard in cell phone record analytics. Middlestat said, noting that it is used by law enforcement throughout the United States and Georgia. The affidavit says Willis and Wade called each other more than 2,000 times during the first 11 months. During the first 11 months of 2022, and exchanged just less than 12,000 text messages. Middlestat also said that he focused on when Wade's cell phone connected to a tower near Hateville address for extended periods of time to make sure that he was stationary and not moving about. He said he did the same thing to determine when Wade was at home in East Cobb County, was at his home in East Cobb County. So whenever he was at home, he did the same exact thing. It says on one occasion, September 11th, 2021, Wade's phone left the Doraville area and arrived in the vicinity of Willis's Hateville address at 11:34 p.m. The phone remained there until 3:28 p.m. a.m. and could later be seen arriving at the East Cobb home at 4:20 when he sent a text to Willis, the affidavit said. Now, similarly, Wade's phone left the Cobb County area the night of November 29th, 2021, and it arrived in Hateville at 12:43. And remained there until 4:55 a.m. Sounds like a booty call if you ask me. Nonetheless, Milstead is available to testify at the court's convenience and said the filing by Trump's attorney Stephen Sadal and Jennifer Little. That's what they had to say. Now, Friday's court filing includes an affidavit from Charles Milstead, a longtime investigator for the defense attorneys. This is who he is, and this is what he used. And I'm going to highlight that Cellphone. So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like, I don't know, but it's a tangled web that we weave when we first attempt to deceive. And that's just all I'm going to say about that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and leave you. However, I do want to let you know again that we do have Judge Joe Brown coming today to give some of his legal analysis on some of the things that are going on. If you look at the thumbnail, we're going to talk about everything from Alejandro Mayorkas and the impeachment, as well as this new twist that I've just come up on as it relates to the whole immigration thing. I have another twist. And so we're going to chat about that. And we're also going to talk about some of the new latest breaking things that are just hitting so fast there in Dalton. I can't keep up with it. It's making my head swim. It honestly is. I have to tell you. So we're going to discuss those things as well. But when I sat here and realized that this news piece had come up, I just could not stop doing what, I just had to come and talk to you guys. Hey, Charlie Sigler, in the middle of sipping on my coffee. But with that, again, they found evidence that shows the cell phone was near her home. And it was not less than 10 times, as he stated online when he was on the stand. It shows that it was several times. For those of you who are just coming in, let me give you the statistics again, just so that you can see it for those folks who are just coming in. All right, I want to do that before I pull out of here, but I do want to remind you guys, please come and check him out. I love his analysis, and we're asking some very direct questions today because we've got so many questions on the board that I'm putting everything together so that these questions can be asked, because I believe there's a lot of questions that all of us have, but we really don't know how these things work. I'm really focusing on the immigration situation. And the reason why is because I don't believe that what we're seeing from the numbers out of Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, Detroit, all of those areas are what they say they are. I do believe that there are more people. And in tandem with more people, I'd like to focus specifically on Venezuela as well as China. Not necessarily a blanket ball being thrown at the conversation, but more of a forensic or a finite piercing of the veil, as it were, to get down and deep into the topic, because I believe these are the things that need to be discussed. Nonetheless, Milstead, who is the investigator that the defense attorneys standardly use, said that he obtained the cell phone data from AT&T through a subpoena. That's the first thing. It was a subpoena. It wasn't just somebody putting an app out and then all of a sudden they're able to follow this person. No, it's not just sticking something on his phone or sticking something under the car. He got a subpoena. He got a subpoena. Milstead said that he used the online tool Cellhawk to determine where Wade spent his time in 2021. Very important. She got brought in January of 2021 as the district attorney of Fulton County. That is the most populous county in Atlanta. Okay. So we have to keep these timelines in check, right? Just to recap, he said that he saw, the affidavit says that he saw that Willis and Wade called each other more than 2,000 times during the first 11 months of 2021, and they exchanged just less than 12,000 text messages. Going back up to the top here, it shows a timeline. It shows the timeline, and it also highlights the fact that he did say he was there less than 10 times. Let's get into that. It says Trump's lawyer, again, this is a recap. Trump's lawyers relied on data collected from Wade's cell phone and cell phone tower transmissions to track his movements. It seemed to contradict Wade's testimony last week, in which he said that he had visited Willis at her condo in Hapeville no more than 10 times before he was hired, November of 2021. Excuse me. It also indicates that Wade twice arrived late at night at the condo and left early the next morning. Okay? Before Willis and Wade said their relationship became romantic in 2022. Both Wade and Willis testified last week that they did not spend the night together at the Hapeville condo. Here's what I hope does not happen. What I hope does not happen is this judge allows this thing to slide. That's what I hope. I hope that the judge looks at this and good morning, One Peaches 41. Blessings to you. So I hope the judge takes this situation by the horns and just wrangles it. I really do. What I feel is that he may not. And I do believe that the bigger picture is everything that Trump, and I have to be fair, just because I don't vote and just because I'm not voting anymore and just because I'm not on anybody's side anymore, it doesn't mean that I can't see when somebody is being wrangled or somebody is being the party to a witch hunt, whether it is contrived or not, whether it is orchestrated or not. It doesn't matter if I'm just looking at the facts of a situation, whether it's a simulation or not. I'm trying to cover all grounds because I know there's going to be somebody who says, well, it's not real. Well, this and that. And then the people with some hats that's white's going to do such and such. That's not what I'm talking about, babe. Here's what I'm saying. What's happening to Trump is terrible. No matter who he is, it's garbage. But baby, can I ask you, did you see how many sneakers homeboy just sold? They said you got to pay New York $355 million. And we want it now because we want all the people here in New York to have their money, said Leticia James. She said, I'm eyeing his property. And I see that building every day on my way to work. And I got aspirations to take your building, baby. Trump said, oh, it's all good. I've been knowing rappers for a long time. And me and rappers are school. So let me go ahead on and show you something. Mr. Naranga sold 1 million golden tennis shoes, high tops, baby. Sold out at the tune of $399 a pair. There's your money, baby. If you're going to get it from him, there's your money. It was like he was saying, all I could hear was Cool Mo D. I think it was Cool Mo D. How you like me now? I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize that I'm going there, but I just got to say it. It was hilarious. It was hilarious to me. But I still think that it's quite sad when you look at how they are doing this guy, regardless of who he is, regardless of if it's fake, if it's this, oh, it's fake, oh, it's all planned, it's a circus. We all know it's a circus, but it's a creepy circus because see, here's what it does. It sets precedents. Let me sip my coffee slowly on that one. It's setting precedents for how they can do you and me. That's what you got to realize, that when we say something is fake, contrived, planned, all of the above, what they're doing is massaging the mind of the masses to allow them to know and get a real nice peer into what could be if they decide to do X, Y, or Z. And then because he is so up there where everybody can see, it sets precedents, baby. That's what it does. Sets precedents. So in as much as we may say, these things are not real, these things are fake, these things are this, these things are that, here's what it is. It's laying down a mental blueprint for the masses to know that even though what has been done by Engoron and by this woman, Leticia James, even though what has been done is not right, it is also letting you know that it could be you, could be me, could be your neighbor, could be your entrepreneur relative who's just trying to get along. If they can just lie, okay, and just say whatever they want and just pull numbers for victimless crime out of the air, what about you or me? This cell phone situation and the whole Wade and Willis debacle is also another sign for you and me, okay? Because this right here shows you that no matter who you are above us, you can do some things, lie on the stand if you got some money or some power or some position, and you don't have to worry about being called directly out. You don't have to worry about going into court and acting accordingly when they make you just afraid to say anything for a parking ticket. It shows you that if you have a little clout, you can just walk in your pink dress with your zipper on backwards, hair matted to your head with no gel on it, nothing. You can go in there and lie and say you wasn't sleeping with nobody, and then not even sleeping, but visiting anybody, and then all of a sudden the cell towers tell it all. You sitting up here knowing doggone good and well you could have subpoenas, but because you are who you are and you have a position, John Q. Public can't do what you're doing. Each and every piece of this is not just the gossip side. It's not just about who this heifer slept with and who this dude slept with. It has nothing to really do about that at all. More so than it is the lies and the type of lies that they're telling and the type of lies that they're saying and speaking while they are under oath. I believe that guy in the blue, I believe his name was Bradley last week. I believe that guy was railroaded, and I believe that he thought that he was defending somebody that would not, that needed his help. And I believe he knows more. I believe the lady with the glasses, the former colleague of Willis, knows more. But this is life. This is exactly what you see in life, where people think if I stand up for this person with power, they're going to help me. Their attorneys want to save them, so they're going to help me. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think what's going to happen is we are going to watch each one of these situations take place, and anything that happens to Trump, since he likes to be considered the martyr, since he said that he is the chosen one, all of those phrases, the martyr, the chosen one, all of those things are a type of a quote unquote Christ. Please trust and understand that I know just what I just said. I know what I just said. He is trying to make himself a type to fit into a narrative. And that's why I want your eyes to be laser focused on exactly what is going on. Right? Yeah, absolutely, Mr. Leslie. So that's why I'm bringing these things up. That's why I'm doting on the Wade and Willis situation, because as we peer into it, we're able to see exactly what the plans are. Now, what are we talking about? Again, when Judge Joe Brown comes on today on both the Lockhart Perspective and Headlines with a Voice, I plan to ask him questions that he can help answer for us as it relates to the sanctuary cities. I want to talk about sanctuary cities. I want to break down all the way to the anise, the legality of such. And then I want to look at the mess that's going on. Then I also want to look at how some of the entrepreneurs who make a whole lot of money from Grant Cardone all the way down, baby, are saying they're not tampering with New York. They are pulling out. And is that planned? Because see, I see things from two different sides all the time. I look at both sides. If it's planned, and that means they plan on turning that big metropolis into one gigantic feeder cell for corruption coming right out of there. I want to know, how does the situation that happened in Cuba several years ago when I was a young girl, young woman, how does that compare? I was a little kid. How does that compare to what's going on with what I think is still happening from Venezuela? How does the people, how does when Castro released all those folks, right? And had them come over to the United States. And I hope that I'm not misquoting you guys. And if I am, please correct me. I love you guys when you share information. How is that any different than what I believe is going on in Venezuela when they tried to quell that whole conversation a while ago when they were saying, no, 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 they have fact checkers do the fact checks. And the fact checkers aren't even from here, but they're going to check some facts and basically do the thought police and tell you what they want you to know. They're going to tell you what they told them to tell you, that never happened, that they never opened up Venezuelan prisons. We're going to talk about that. I want to get down to the meat, to the bones of this topic. Yeah, I want to see how all of it plays in with Chicago, with Illinois as a whole. I want to talk about everything, especially Mr. Mayorkas. I think he was a fall guy. I want to ask you guys before we start today with him. Do you think he was a fall guy? Do you think he was a distraction? We're going to talk about it today, 12 o'clock. Join us where Judge Joe Brown sits down live and breaks it all down for us. Share, please, and tell everybody that you know to tune in. We're not going to be on too long, but we are going to talk about those things and we're going to get some answers. So I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, cell phone data raises questions about the start of Willis and Wade's relationship. We'll see exactly what happens. And I want you guys to also let me know, do you guys believe that this judge is capable of making a decision that is fair and equitable based on the evidence? Or do you think that he will be swayed? Let me know down below in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, let me know here. Also, give this a thumbs up. Please give it a thumbs up, because the more thumbs up it gets, trust me, it's free to give a thumbs up. But if you wanted to give a thumbs down too, that's fine. Has to be some interaction with that button so that it does share it. When the algorithm sees the thumbs up or thumbs down, they think, oh, it's good or it's controversial. And either way it goes, they begin to allow more people to come. And if you have a problem leaving a thumbs up and you're punching that button and it doesn't seem to take your time. You can clear your cache, come back, and you can do it again, because sometimes it messes up that way. Or drop me a line and tell me you had a problem. Anytime you guys have a problem leaving a comment in the chat, leaving a comment live, leaving a thumbs up or thumbs down, let me know, because what I can do is, YouTube is really awesome. They're really helpful. Whenever, something like this happens, I can always take a screenshot of it and send it to them. And they're really good at helping you out with that. So we'll get them on it and we'll figure it out, because sometimes things get bugs, right? Sometimes you get a little issues here and there. So with that said, you guys, see you guys today at 12:15 specifically with Judge Joe Brown. All right, y'all. Be good. Love you. Peace. Lockhart Perspective.